Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Yasodhanandana Braja Janardhan Yasodhanandana Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Yasodhanandana Braja Janardhan Yasodhanandana Braja Janardhan Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shira Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Shira Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Shira Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Shama Sundara Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Shama Sundara Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranikai 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 Jaya Gauranikai Jaya Gauranikai Jaya Gauranikai Jaya Vijay Gauranga Doyal Nikai Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanjana Shalakaya Chaksurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shiguro Shijuta Padakamalam Shiguru Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Si Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute De Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Ipa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Before the Srimad Bhagavatam class, I was always wondering why the Transcendental Diary is here. Can I read a little bit from here? A Transcendental Diary by Sorry Prabhu travels with His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. August 1976 to October 1976. Is Sri Vrindavan Dham. After Srila Prabhupada's breakfast nap, he met with Saurabh, Dhananjay, Harikesh Swami, and Bhagatji. Saurabh Prabhu inquired whether he should design the Singhasanas in Mumbai so that they could be used for baiting the deities whenever there was a festival, or whether he should make a special arrangement for baiting the deities at the opening of the temple. Srila Prabhupada told him that baiting the large deities should be a one-time affair. Generally, only the small deities or shalagram shilas are baited. Harikesh and Dhananjay said that on Janmastami and Balaram's appearance day, Nitai Das has organized for the big deities here to be baited. Terrible speculation, Harikes said. Prabhupada shook his head in irritation. Therefore the color has faded, he asked, adding, he is a rascal. Yeah, the same Nitai, he says he's a better Sanskrit scholar than Prabhupada. And later he left. Prabhupada says also, don't be a better Paramahansa than your Guru Maharaj. He thinks, Nitai, that he's more intelligent than Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, in front of our spiritual master, we should always think ourselves to be fools. Fool number one, not fool number two. Fool number one. Yes. We only bathe the big deities and the time of the installation only once. Harikes recalled that he understood that the big deities were never to be washed directly, and even if they were to be covered with a plastic bag. But Ratha Yatra, before the Ratha Yatra, we will bathe directly Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra. It's called Snana Yatra. For 2 weeks they'll be considered to be having fever or sick. Why did you allow? Prabhupada asked Dhananjay. Just see, this is the disease. Rascals, they do not know. In response, Dhananjay said, but everyone was listening to him. He was posing himself as the most learned in deity worship. That he's fond of, Prabhupada royally observed. Dhananjay added that Nitai was introducing deity worship standards from the H.H.Bhakti Vilas. His idea was that he would become the most famous temple, that we would become the most famous temple for bathing big deities in Vrindavan. Speculation, huh? H.H.Bhakti Vilas was written by Srila Sanatana Goswami. It's a book of how we do practically every day and during the festivals for the deities and also for ourselves, how to put on tilak and so on, what to do as soon as we get up early in the morning and during the day. Harikes, however, pointed out that H.H.Bhakti Vilas states that a smaller set of deities should be used for bathing functions. Prabhupada tipped his head, adding that the bathing was not to be done on the Singhasana. The deity is taken out, then it is done. But that is very risky. You cannot do it. Don't allow him. He is simply posing himself very learned above everything. That is his ambition. Returning to the discussion of the Bombay opening, Prabhupada told Saurabh that the same priests who did our Hyderabad temple functions should be invited and that they would therefore decide the exact arrangements. He said that the deities were not to be bathed on the altar, but rather in front of it. But if it is risky, you should not do. He said, big deity, we have got big deity, huh? Yes, Harikes confirmed. They are very heavy, Radha Rasa Bihari. Prabhupada asked what had been done in Hyderabad, and Harikes replied that the small deities had been baited. Anyway, Prabhupada said, we should not take risk at any rate. Harikes added that Sri Radha Rasa Bihari had been moved to 3 different locations, causing great anxiety for the pujaris. because Srimati Radharani already has a slight crack on her left arm. Prabhupada again admonished the devotees, this risk should not be taken any gain. Never mind, Hari Bhakti Vilas, this Vilas, no risk. You must always know no risk. That is the first point. Then we consult Hari Bhakti Vilas. Nobody can give reference to Hari Bhakti Vilas at risk. No, not at all. His questions answered, Saurabh departed. As he left, Akshaya Prabhu informed Srila Prabhupada that Prem Yogi had arrived with his luggage and one of his friends. We can stop from there. Prabhupada ki jai. He established the Mayapur Vrindavan Trust so that just in case if something happened, the whole human society collapse, like there is no more money, at least there is some funds to provide for the Krishna Balaram Mandir, Mayapur and Hyderabad. Big deities in Hyderabad. So many more I can say from there, but we go to Bhagavatam class now. Text number 12. Canto 6, chapter 12, text number 12. Brittasura's glorious death. Avidvam evam atmanam manyate nisam ishvaram bhutai shijati bhutani grasate tani taishvayam Abidvam evam atmanam manyate nisam isvaram bhutai shijati bhutani grasate tani taishvayam Abidvam evam atmanam manyate nisam ishvaram bhutai shijati bhutani grasate tani taishvayam. Somebody else? Maharaj? Manyate nisam bhutai shijati bhutani grasate tani taishvayam.
Avidvam evam atmanam manyate nisham ishvaram bhutai srijati bhutani grasate tani taisvayam
Avidvam evam atmanam
manyate nisam ishvaram
bhutai srijati bhutani grasate tani taisvayam.
Avidvan evam atmanam manyate nisam iswaram
bhutai shijati bhutani
grasate tani taisvayam.
Mataji.
Avidvam evam Ishwaram. Bhutani Shrijati Rasatani Taiswaram. Avidvaneva Matmanam. Manyate Nishamishwaram. Bhutai Shrijati Bhutani Rasatani Taiswaram.
Avidvaneva Matmanam. Manyate Nishamishwaram. Bhutai Shrijati Bhutani Rasatani Taiswaram. Word for word meaning, Avidvan, one who is foolish, without knowledge. Evam, thus. Atmanam, himself. Manyate, considers. Anisam, although totally dependent on others. Iswaram, as the supreme controller, independent. Bhutai, by the living entities. Shrijati, he, the Lord, creates. Bhutani, other living entities. Grashate, he devours. Tani, them. Thai, by other living beings. Swayam, himself. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A foolish, senseless person cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although always dependent, he falsely thinks himself the Supreme. If one thinks, according to one's previous fruitive actions, one's material body is created by the father and mother, and the same body is annihilated by another agent, as another animal is devoured by a tiger. This is not proper understanding. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself creates and devours the living beings through other living beings. Purport. According to the conclusion of the philosophy known as Karma Mimamsa, one's karma or fruitive activity is the cause of everything. Therefore, there is no need to work. Those who arrive at this conclusion are foolish. When a father creates a child, he does not do so independently. He is induced to do so by the Supreme Lord. As the Lord Himself says in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvaisya chahang hidisha nivishto matashmitir jnanam apuhanam cha. I am in everyone's heart. I am in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Unless one receives dictation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who sits within everyone's heart, one cannot be induced to create anything. Therefore, the father and mother are not the creator of the living entity. According to the living entity's karma, fruitive activities, he is put into the semen of the father, who injects the living entity into the womb of the mother. Then according to the body of the mother and father, yata yoni yata bijam, the living entity accepts a body and takes birth to suffer or enjoy. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the cause of one's being killed. No one is independent. Everyone is dependent. The true conclusion is that the only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Avidvang evang atmanang manyate nisham ishvaram bhutai shijati bhutani grashate tani tai swayam. Prabhupada's translation of avidvam, one who is foolish without knowledge. So a person who does not have any understanding of the nature of the soul, he thinks that he is the body. He misidentify the body to be the self, and he thinks that he is the creator of everything that's going on, or he is the cause that's going on. That he can do whatever he likes, and according to his activities, the result happens. And this is not so. He thinks that he is the cause of the creation, that the jiva is the creation, the cause of creation by his own actions. He does not know that there is a law of nature. Law of nature is applicable for everyone who comes in contact with the material energy. We are bound by the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And according to our desire, according to our activities, we are given the result. So ultimately, Krishna, indirectly the material energy, but ultimately it is Krishna who is the cause of all causes. Sarva karna karanam. So Prabhupada quoted here the philosophy of karma mimamsa. This is the philosophy of the atheist, actually. They don't believe that there is God. And Lord Krishna, he used this argument in the worship of Govardhan Hill. Because every year, the Brajavasis, headed by Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd man, they will worship King Indra. This is like a tradition whereby they concluded that without worshipping King Indra, who is the one who provides rain, then they're being Vaishyas. Main occupation of the Vaishyas is to cultivate vegetables, grow vegetables, more of the farming. And they will not have a very good crop, a very good harvest without the rain coming from King Indra. So every year they will perform Indra Yagya. But then Lord Krishna, to diffuse the false ego of King Indra, again, King Indra in the Bhagavatam or in the Puranas, it seems to be he's always in trouble. He's not a troublemaker, but due to his being the king of the demigods, he thinks that everything is under his control. So God propagated this karma mimamsa philosophy and telling, so God himself propagating the karma mimamsa philosophy, which is atheistic, to put King Indra into his proper consciousness. So Krishna will do that from time to time to his devotees as well, teaching lesson so that they will wake up and understand their position. So yes, there's no need to worship King Indra because the rain, even in the ocean, the rain falls. And the ocean doesn't need rain. It's already wet. That's the nature of water, wet. Prabhupada, sometimes it is solid also, water. So, Lord Krishna says, no, you just do your duty. And when you do your duty properly, then we will get the rain. It is not Indra as the cause. Ultimately, the power or whatever comes from the demigods, whatever benedictions they give, they are not the source. Krishna is the source. It's like Lord Shiva. He's been worshipped by those who are in the mode of ignorance, to give them a chance to elevate themselves, that ultimately they will become elevated. But he is more happy because those who worship Lord Shiva, they think that Lord Shiva is the root cause of the result of their worshipping Krishna, or Lord Shiva rather. Lord Shiva, is more happy if they realize that Krishna is the supreme and is just an instrument to give the mercy of Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna's mercy is open for everyone, is meant for everyone, but not many are taking advantage. Not many are ready to accept the mercy of Lord Krishna. They don't want to pay the price of receiving that mercy from Lord Krishna. They want the easy way out. So, as Karma Mimamsa philosophy mentioned in the worshipping the Govardhan Hill, that part, to tell the cowherd men that there's no need to worship King Indra. Why don't you just worship the cows and the brahmanas? And he's just merely around 7 years old, Lord Krishna, and they would listen to him. The cowherd man, Nanda Maharaj, even though they were doing this every year, says, no need. No need to worship Indra. It's like he's having this false ego being puffed up, like a nice chapati. Puffed up. And Lord Krishna put like a little bit of pointed thing so that, when you push like a pointed thing to the chapati, then chapati will come down. The air will come out. So, those who arrive to this conclusion are considered to be foolish. And I've met some of these personalities in India. They would say, oh, you just do your duty and everything will be taken care of. I'll just do my karma. And if I do my karma, then Krishna will provide me everything. He will be. No. Krishna is not obliged to do anything. He is a supreme, independent personality. Everyone depends on Lord Krishna. But a foolish person, no, he doesn't want to depend on anybody. He thinks that by my own experience, by my own ability, by my own knowledge, I can do and perform my duty, and I will be successful. But Krishna can withhold. Krishna is not obliged to give everyone that what they're asking for. How is it that we want to become happy? This is the nature of the soul. Anandamaya Vyasa. We want to become happy, but how is it that we're not happy all the times? There are still miseries that comes. So again, because of our activities from the past, this is what you call karma. So Lord Krishna, we want to please Lord Krishna with our activities, the devotees. And still it's up to Krishna whether he will bestow his mercy upon us. We cannot say, Krishna, you must do this for me. You must do this for me. But we are completely dependent on the Lord, that hope against hope, that Lord Krishna will bestow his mercy upon us. We will do our duty, but then again, whatever the result, we will try our very best to serve the Supreme Lord. The devotees, they want to attract Lord Krishna by performing their service. And Krishna becomes attracted to those devotees who perform their service sincerely, without expecting anything in return. Krishna knows what to give to the devotees. So again, it is not what we're doing that makes Krishna oblige. It is our intention. It is our motivation that Krishna will become attracted to the devotee. Meaning of Krishna is all attractive, but he is attracted to the service of his devotees. Those who perform selfless service towards the Supreme Lord and his devotees, then the Lord becomes obliged. He will do anything and everything for them. He wants to please his devotees. We want to please Krishna, and Krishna reciprocally, he will also want to please and serve his devotees. This is in the spiritual platform. And the material platform is only one way. There is no reciprocation. We will not find the boss driving the car. But Krishna will be the chariot driver of his devotee. But Krishna will carry the shoes of Nanda Baba. He is God, but at the same time, there is no other theology or understanding in any religion that God can be seemingly subordinate to the living entities. Only in our philosophy, in our understanding, in our scripture, saying that Krishna seemingly becomes subordinate in position. He is always God, but he says that the love of his devotees is greater than Krishna himself. How Krishna is so merciful that he will do anything and everything for his devotees. Because the devotees also are ready to do anything and everything for Krishna. So those who arrive to this conclusion, that I'm completely independent. I can do anything and everything. And if I just do my duty, then automatically I should receive the result. Unknowingly that there is a cause of all causes. Sarva karna karanam. So those who arrive at this conclusion are foolish. And Prabhupada gave an example here that when a father creates a child, he does not do so independently. He is induced to do so by the Supreme Lord. So we took birth in a particular family. We have our own father and mother. In this body, we took birth from a certain family. But how many fathers and mothers we had before? Practically countless. When one comes in contact with the material energy, then this is it. We have this karma, according again to our desire, according to what we're thinking at the time of death, and according to our activities that we perform every day. So even right now, we are also preparing our next life. And whatever we're doing every day, we are preparing the life that we're going to be in the womb of a different mother. Not just the devotees, but everyone, non-devotees as well. That they do not know. And for them, their philosophy is drink, enjoy, and be merry, for tomorrow you die and no one knows what's going to happen. That is not our understanding. So we took birth in a particular family because we have to receive the results of our previous lifetimes. And that particular family only that we will receive the result, either we enjoy or we suffer. We have what we call collective karma within the family. I will not take birth in a different family because the connection is not there. And it is foolish to think also that the root cause of my birth is because of my father and my mother. No, it is not. It is because of me, of what I did or what happened in the past. Karma is like a shadow. It follows us wherever we go. And when we leave this body, mind, intelligence, and ego also comes along with the soul. As long as we'll take birth in a particular species of life in the material world, then mind, intelligence, and ego comes along with the soul, and also the karma, the reactions of one's particular activities from the past. And Krishna, being seated within our heart, Sarvasya chahang hidisha nibishto matashmitir jnanam apuhanam cha. He directs. He wants for us to go back home, back to Godhead. I was hearing a class this morning, Prabhupada says, Krishna is very eager for us. So eager for us to go back home, back to Godhead. And when the living entity, the conditioned soul, becomes exhausted, he started to understand that I would like to end up my miseries and sufferings in this material world. So Krishna will send the external manifestation of the Paramatma, the spiritual master. We were walking the other day and we went to the city center here in Köln. There's so many people. We saw both. Seemingly they're enjoying with their family, and others also are suffering, homeless. So many homeless people. They have their own, whatever they own, they put them in suitcases, and they're just there lying on the street, waiting, begging. Some, they think they are enjoying, but actually they're also suffering because there is no enjoyment in this material world. This is only a creation of our mental conditioning. That one is good and one is bad. The Prabhupada says there is no good and there is no bad. Everything is bad. Even the good is bad. So the Super Soul keeps reminding us that this is not good. Don't enjoy the fruits of your labor. So how can we hear the Super Soul and understand the Super Soul is guiding us? According to the scripture, first we have to control our senses. This is the first duty of a person who is on the spiritual path. Control the senses, control the mind. To control the senses, one has to control the mind. And to control the mind, one's intelligence must be sharp. And ultimately, to understand that I'm very minute, there is God, and I'm helpless. I cannot do anything without the Lord's mercy. He says in the Bhagavad Gita that when the senses are fully under control, that the mind is peaceful, then the Super Soul is already rich. Then we can hear the Paramatma telling us what to do and what not to do. Even though the spiritual master, he knows what to do and what not to do, sometimes he will ask the opinions of his disciples. And Prabhupada would do that also. What do you think? Shall we go today or tomorrow? What do you think? What is the proper way to do? Because Prabhupada will not travel on Thursdays. Is today Thursday? No, today is Friday. Is it? Yesterday. Oh, still we went to Belgium. Prabhupada. But, you know, and this is in the mode of goodness actually. So before we decide something spiritually and materially, we should ask the spiritual master. And if he's not there, because he's the external manifestation of Paramatma, so he can give us proper direction. And if the spiritual master is not there, nearby, because he's busy traveling, preaching, doing many duties for the pleasure of Lord Krishna and his devotees. We should ask others who are more advanced than we are. And we can also ask our friends, equal-minded, to make the proper decision. Unless one receives dictation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead who sits within everyone's heart, one cannot be induced to create anything. So Krishna is the root cause of everything. That the father and mother, they became instrument for us to be here. In this body. They're not the cause. What you call They're the instruments for us to be here. But still we owe them. We owe them for us to be here and grown up to be where we are right now. Without their love and care, we will not be in this way. Unfortunate are those who, what you call, broken family. When the father and the mother, they will be separated, and again, karma. The child will be so disturbed and he will carry this trauma till the end of his life. Karma again. So, yes, it doesn't matter. Let's just say a child became sick, and the child will be brought to a very expert doctor with everything, all the advanced technology to cure the child. If the child is going to die, it doesn't matter how much expert the doctor is or how much the technology is so advanced to treat the child. And the child, if he is supposed to die, that's it. So it is not in the hands, again, with the doctor of the child to treat. It is up to Krishna. So whatever happens to us, we should always think, especially for everyone, not just for the devotees, for everyone. Always it is for our own good. The father, he will not think ill of the child. No way. The father will always think for the good of everyone. So for the devotees, if something happens which is not according to our desire, not according to our liking, it is reversal. If there's something happened to us in reverse to what we are expecting, still it is for our own good, so that we will take shelter more of Lord Krishna. So, Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the cause of one's being killed. Now, Krishna is not the cause of you to be killed. It is you, but he is the one who is making arrangement for you to receive that you will be killed, that you will die. No one is independent. Everyone is dependent. Last few verses, this is the main topic. The true conclusion is that the only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the conclusion, that only Krishna is the only personality who is the supreme independent. And we discussed the other day about this minute independence. Not to use that minute independence that Lord Krishna gave to us. Even though we know that the devotees will become successful in his endeavor if he is doing everything for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord without any self-interest, without any motivation. The Supreme Lord's mercy is always there towards his devotees, but still devotees are praying for the Lord's mercy, always depending on the Supreme Lord. He will not do anything and everything independently. This is the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the main difference, that he is the only one who's completely independent, and we're always depending on the Lord's mercy at all times. Okay, I stop here now. Is there any question or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, thank you very much for a very wonderful katha. Really a good insight. My question is like sometimes it's difficult. Of course, the cause of all causes is Krishna, is the supreme cause of everything. But sometimes when the things do not happen as per our wish, our desire, so how to see that is it lack of our effort or our endeavor, or it was Krishna's will? So sometimes we are not able to judge. It's our effort was lacking, or Krishna was willing for us the same.
The best way to do is just to accept whatever happens to us. If there's anyone to be blamed, it is us. If something happens to you, not according to your desire, not according to your liking, if there's some reversals in your life, just accept. And in this way, your faith towards Lord Krishna should also increase accordingly. There are two ways that will happen. Either you will lose faith or you become more faithful. This happens, Prabhupada gave a story like in Germany, World War II. Prabhupada gave that story. Many men went to the war, their husband, their children, yeah? And some of them, they did not come back because of the war. They were killed. So many of them, they cried, they blamed God. If there is a God, then he should be always thinking good for others. That is good, yeah, he's always thinking good for others. So, but because their sentimental values is there, so many of them became atheists. They were praying to God, please have our husband, children, brothers to come, but they did not come. So they became atheists. Prabhupada gave this story. Yeah. But we know as devotees that if Krishna gave me some situation whereby I will be affected heavily, this is for my own good. For my own good. We should have that faith always, that Krishna always thinks good for everyone. So if something happens to us or to our family members, we get affected, but little, not so much, because we have understanding of this knowledge. More than theoretical knowledge is the application of the knowledge, the Vigyan. We should have that Vigyan. Now many devotees taking up Bhakti Sastri courses or Bhakti Vaibhav courses, or maybe up to Bhakti Vedanta courses. That is good. We are diving deeply into Prabhupada's books, but then the application, the day-to-day application is the most important. We get affected. We're not robots. We're not like artificial intelligence here. Yeah. Artificial intelligence, they can speak better than us. They probably know the whole Vedas, because these are all fed into the system. But they don't have heart. They don't have emotions. And that is a big difference. Applying the knowledge is the test of our Krishna consciousness. Hmm? So, yes. That's why we have to hear daily Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the main. There is a statement by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that all the books may be burned in the world, but if the Srimad Bhagavatam is the only thing that is left, there's never a loss. There's no loss. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Any other points? Maharaj, you want to say something?
Thank you very much for your explanation.
Mataji's, any question? Yes?
Different topic question. We should do service for the Lord without any motivation and don't be attached. But now in ISKCON it is a tendency to get paid jobs, paid service. So
well,
that there's might
yeah.
also some.
Well, we are all of us are not the same. In the early days, they're all brahmacharis, brahmacharinis. They only just want to serve Prabhupada to the best. They don't worry about anything because Prabhupada is there. They knew that the Father is there. They'll be taken care of. They don't take any salaries in those days. They have to ask the treasurer or the president even to buy a metro pass or something. But nowadays it's different. Time changes also. It is not that everyone, brahmacharis should not ask for anything. They fully depend on the temples, providing them all their needs. What are their needs? They have shelter, they have prasad, they will be bought kurta and dhoti, or from time to time they will go to India to get their spiritual battery, get recharged. But nowadays there is a tendency that one may think of becoming grihastha. So they should be provided actually by the temple. Prabhupada says also that if one something extra, then they should go find a job, because the temple will not be able to provide. So other grihasthas, they just want to serve Shishi, Vijay, Gauranga, Doyle, Nitai, and they're not asking for more. Just like the main basics, just be able to pay for their apartment, and a little bit more for their prasadam. Let's say they have a child, but they're doing full-time service for the temple. So the temple should provide them these necessities. But to the extent that it should not go beyond, like demanding more, because they want extra more, so that maybe they can do a part-time job also, and then do some service to the temple. Even in Vrindavan, we have some of our devotees like that. We don't call it salary, we call it maintenance, just to maintain. And if you really want, like a nice car, or a nice villa or something, then you go find yourself a job. Or you can be maintained by book distribution. You can distribute a lot of books, and then you can have part of the profit you can keep with you. Prabhupada says like that. You can maintain yourself by book distribution. He told this to his disciples. But nowadays, everything is so expensive, especially after pandemic. prices went up 3 times, 4 times, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh? So the devotee should also be mindful, should be also thinking that, oh, if the temple cannot provide me my needs, so they should have that initiative to go. But it is painful also to go look for a job. Or when you get a job, then you give something to Krishna, the fruits of one's labor. Otherwise, if one keeps the fruits of one's labor, then what are you going to use it for? For your own sense enjoyment, and then karma will be there. There is a formula, Rupa Goswami says. Well, at least 10%. But who's giving 10% of their income to Krishna? Have you heard? No. Very rare. Krishna sees what you give, but Krishna sees more what you keep. So then they will have a mentality. If we don't give to Krishna, they will have mentality now of sense enjoyer. And you say, oh no, these are for my children. That's fine. But how much do they need? Yeah. Is that okay? All right, we stop here now. Dankeschön. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again some other time. Yes, we've been to many temples here in UK and also Europe. Well, Europe, yeah. And devotees are very nice. They're very hospitable. And I can see here in ISKCON Cologne, they're very sincere. Everyone always, Maharaj, how can we make more devotees, how we can engage? It is your sincerity that Lord Krishna will reciprocate to all your prayers, to all your desires. And I was just thinking, seeing the Tulsi Devi here, and you have more inside. I had a glimpse of them. Srila Prabhupada says the barometer of bhakti can be known how Tulsi Devi's health and growth. So your Tulsi Devi here, they're very healthy. In spite of Germany being a cold place. So I can tell that you are doing nicely, nice service. Sisi Gauranitai must be pleased, and Srila Prabhupada must be pleased, and your spiritual master must be pleased in your endeavors in serving the Lord and his devotees. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Goshitanat Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.